5 p.m. So that means it's Ask a Headhunter. So here I am again. Feel free to call in, hang out, ask anything you want to me. And in the meantime, I'm going to start kind of screen sharing and maybe doing some stuff with LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Jobin or Loxo or anything in between. Actually, know what I'm going to do? There's a great new applicant tracking system out there called Atlas, Recruit with Atlas, and it is really, really cool. So um, it has got this new AI and all these new features. So let's go now. I'm going to screen share until somebody jumps on since I'm bored. So we're coming over here. This is, as you can see, this is Recruit with Atlas. So this is my little logo up here. You have meetings, you have calendar settings, you have how to use the mating AI. And it's kind of really cool is, right? So at any time you can invite Atlas to an AI call, right? So I could actually drop the Google Meet link that we're on right now into here, and it'll come right in and start talking. And this is a conversation between me, Ernie Moreno, and Andy Rhodes and Dominic Manani, one of the roundtables, after hour roundtables, right? So I dropped in there to show them. And then it shows you, I don't know what that area is for, but it shows you, when he was talking, right? When Spark was talking, like, no, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. So let me go in here. I go here too. Here we go. So this is the I was on his contact. So this shows over here. See Thomas, that's me, Ernie, Thomas, Ernie, Thomas, Ernie. And you come down and it'll start adding. Here's Andy Rhodes, right? We were all talking, and it gives us the purpose, the core discussion points, action items about what's going on, revenue opportunities, all the stuff we were talking about. And this is the summary. And then you can look at the Q&A description, the screenings, all this stuff. You can make templates for this, right? And here's the entire transcript. So for you like me who use Typing Mind, right? I could copy this entire transcript, drop it into Typing Mind to do a summary if I wanted. Let's say it was interviewing a candidate. So this is really, really cool as far as, and it's included in the applicant tracking system. So, like Loxo or CPAL or Crelate, any of those, this is the first one that's actually included. And their AI does a lot of other stuff too. So let's go over here to what they call, where is it? Projects. That's the jobs, right? So I created a job with a company called Ad Tech Engineers, right? And then you have a pipeline where you can put candidates in and what happens to them. So I kind of was messing around fixing that. Now they've told me that if you send someone to where's the settings here? So company settings, candidate pipeline. So this is my candidate pipeline, right? So I'm sourcing and then added source from LinkedIn, the contact info, whatever. And then my short list of candidates, right? I got Brent joining. Hey, Brent. And then if I send them a LinkedIn connection request, they accept it or the contact's outstanding. But apparently over here, if I submit to client one of my candidates, it'll automatically move them into the next step. That's the thing that Atlas is just, it was a LinkedIn post I just saw, and they were making fun of me because I called it, oh, you added triggers, right? So let me go here for a second and show you what he had done. So let me go here, my notifications. And this is Jordan. He's the owner of the company. So he posted our next AI agent. When you schedule interviews with candidates, Atlas moves the candidates to the pipeline for you. When your call is completed, Atlas moves them for you. You don't need to set up a thing. No silly automations when scheduled, right? And I said, triggers, nice. He goes, Tom, triggers are so 2012. This is angenic triggers. I don't know what that means. But anyway, that's their new thing. And as you can see in this here, this is their pipeline, right? Sourcing, internal, presented, client, right? And as I was showing you guys, mine, escape here, and I made my own, right? I decided to make my own pipeline, right? So you can have the pipeline however you want. And they have integrations if you want to add Expand Ring Central. There's obstacle features if you want a GPR notice, right? You can add custom attributes if you want, like a candidate attribute. You can say, like here, you could put new value is immigration status, right? So immigration, right? And hit enter. And then it could be a single choice or allow multi-select or whatever it is you want. Multi-select, multiple choice. And so immigration, green card, and then citizen, right? Fit, and then you can put H1B. All right, so do that, and then we're not going to allow multi-set. Like so now, this is all set, right? And the person will be able to when it's added as a candidate attribute in your candidate pipeline. I think I just started messing around with this, right? So we've done this, right? We come here and we go to people. Let me go to a candidate, and probably somewhere in here, it'll have a place for that thing. I gotta find it. The activity files, references, reports, overview. I'm sure it's in here somewhere, but we'll find it. Anyway, hey, what's up, Brent?
No,
Just showing, since nobody had come yet, the new applicant tracking system I've been testing out. I love Loxo, been Loxo forever, but use that or Recruit with Atlas is really stepping their game up.
really. What's it called? Recruiter Atlas?
Atlas.
Huh. Now, here's the thing. Like, for me, it would be tough to get me to change just because of all that time it takes. And I'm just a solo shop, and it'd take me forever. But if I had people on my team, it'd be really tough to be like, okay, and then to get them trained up and everything else. God, no thanks.
Well, the one thing that Recruit with Atlas, at least they did before when I first talked with them, if you want to transfer over, it's free. Like a lot of companies charge thousands of dollars for new users. They're transferring all your stuff over free, and they're willing and they're have it set up now. Like you said, the training is hard because just in that quick, I've been messing around with it. I still don't know where to find that place to create that new field. Like I don't know where that would come into play. But for those who are just starting out or looking for stuff, this is a really good system because it includes um, AI like MetaView or Otter or Revit, all those. It's included in their system. And the really cool thing is, like, for example, I sent this guy Charlie. I sent him an email saying I will cut him loose, let him know that you're not interested. It made a calendar to do in my calendar because it saw that in the email. So it's reading all your emails, and if it sees something that's important, send this candidate out, return this, do that. It automatically adds it to your calendar.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. Oh,
I kind of wanted to share it, but I don't. It's hard because all my clients are in there, and the way that they show the info, it's easy to see all the stuff. So I kind of don't want to share that on live screen. But if you next time we have the roundtable afterwards, I'll share it with you guys. The setup is really nice. And they added a Ring Central component to it.
Ring
Also,
Central
like if you,
sucks.
I
Ring
know Kelly
Central
hates Ring
sucks.
Central. If you have a meeting coming up, right? And if you forgot to add them, you can just take the link and drop it into. I can show you this part. I don't know where is it. Meetings, right? So I can show you this because it's not any proprietary information. But like for example, right now, us talking, right?
mm-hmm.
Hold on, share. So right now we're talking, right? See where it says invite Atlas to the AI call? Like right here, if I drop this in, right? That's it. And then we're going to see as we're sitting here talking, it's going to come add to the attendees. And then it'll just transcribe this entire conversation that we're doing. And then when you're done, you come back to, I had to see, it just popped up. It says Atlas Note Taker. And we're going to admit it right now, right? And then we'll go back to this, right? So what will happen is like, here's a conversation from the 28th. And it shows the notes, the action items, the revenue opportunities, and then the entire transcript. So when we're done talking, it'll have March 11th, it'll be us. Here's me and Dominic, we're talking about something. And basically, I was telling them about this. And then here's our entire transcript, a 41-minute call. We do it, but we talked a bunch about other stuff. And then it's going to summarize it. Actually, this is Q&A. Let me go to summary. There's a summary, core discussions, action items, revenue opportunities. And you can make a template, right? You can have a template, like add a template, what you want it to say, like section name, like here it says screening questions, Q&A, questions and answers, activity or summary, meeting analysis, right? So you could drop a prompt in here that says, this is a meeting analysis. I want you to extract, compensation, reasons for making a change or whatever, right? So you can do that in here. And then they have like, we can go to the screening and it's preparing the screening, but since it wasn't a screening, it's going to have struggles with it. That's why we'll come back to here just to show you like it's a summary of the meeting, right? And I can come over here and grab any of the pieces or parts. I can listen to it again. So anyway, that's kind of a cool thing I think that they implemented, that anytime in the middle of the meeting, your applicant tracking system, you can grab it, drop it in there, and it'll record the entire conversation. It does it in Zoom, Google Meet, and Teams.
Yeah, I'm using Quill to.
Yeah. But Quill's $60 a month. That's my issue.
Yeah.
Right? And then ask you this question: for $60 a month, how often are you recording conversations?
I record them all. It is
Every
like,
single conversation?
well, so I'm recruiting on software engineering roles, and I'll be talking to people that are super technical out of Facebook or something, and it's just so much easier just to have that conversation with them and be able to listen and like
Oh
dive a
yeah,
little bit
100%.
deeper. And I don't really, like, I might not hear everything that they're saying or understand if there's a language barrier, and it helps with that. So I absolutely love that aspect of it.
Yes, I that's what somebody had asked me today about it, and I said, look, it's Quill's great, but for $60, I don't. So I only record interviews or screening calls, right, or client intake calls, right. So if
Mm-hmm.
I'm cold calling 50 people, right, and two are interested in the job, I'll record those two conversations, right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to record. Hey, hi, this is Tom. I'm a headhunter. Are you open to a conference? I'm not,
Oh,
and I'm not going to record those conversations,
yeah.
right.
I don't record
To
those.
me, you do.
No, I don't. I don't record
No,
those.
you don't. So how many in today? How many conversations did you record?
Um, Today was a lighter day, but this week, let me look at my calendar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 calls that I'll be recording. 8 calls.
Okay, yeah. So that you're on that borderline because I record all my calls too, but instead of using that, what I do is record them talking on the phone on Loxo or in a Zoom call or a Google Meet call like we're doing now. Oh, excuse me. And then I just drop the transcription into TypeMind with one of my agents, and it creates a summary, right? So and then
Yeah.
so it looks like
Oh,
this. I
that
think
would
I've shown them
suffice.
to you, right?
Yeah, if I had that set up 2 months ago, I wouldn't have done Quill.
Yeah, that's really the problem. Is like I spent a lot of money on a lot of stuff, and I don't need to spend another $60 a month on something that now I will say. Is this a good one? Here's a good one. So I will say that if I was doing, dozens of calls a week and having to transcribe all of them and do all that stuff, then yeah, I actually would pay it. But like this is one I did the other day, right? And that's just it, right? It gives me action items. Brief summary, key discussion points, right? And this was somebody who asked me about here's one. There's an interview summary. This is an interview of a candidate, right? So interview summary, his experience, qualifications, key discussion points, compensation, reason for considering change. And that was, a 45, 50-minute conversation. And I drop it into here. Right. So like I drop the transcription in here or the audio and it converts it, right? That's that guy we're just talking about. There's the formatted text, right? I can hit copy and then right into Typevine, grab what is it? Meeting transcription or interview, drop it in here, hit enter, and boom, it'll create that for me. So that's now it's a little bit now it's gonna take me, yours is already done by the time I've gotten to here, but it's free.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind paying it because, as a solo provider, I have, excluding healthcare, I've got less than $1,000 in technology spend every month. And so really, say twelve
Yeah,
thousand
that's
bucks
good.
at the end of the year. It's
And
like
are
a
you using Crelate or are you using
Loxo,
Loxo? Loxo, okay.
Loxo. And I think that Loxo, you saw how they got 115 million in funding.
115, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to guess that all of a sudden their product team is going to just be releasing a lot more things. I think that in a
It's
year's
private
time,
equity, dude. It could go, that scared me. Private
yeah,
equity
that's
always
true.
scares me. Like if it was a VC company that gave them $115 million for say 20% of the company, then I'd be like, that's a great investment. But when PE gets involved, man, because think about that, $115 million, right? Is Loxo $115 million revenues a year?
No idea. I have no idea how big
How
they
long
are.
have you had Loxo?
A year.
What number are you? If you look at your Loxo, if you go into Loxo at the very top, it'll say something like app.loxo.co agencies slash and then a number.
Let me check this out. I had no idea that. So I've had actually less than a year. It will be a year in June. And
Okay.
this is under my go to my settings, is
Just
it?
go to any Loxo page. It doesn't matter. At the
Okay.
very top, it'll say app Loxo app, then agencies, then a slash, and then a number.
I don't see that anywhere on my page.
On the URL at the very top. Read me the URL.
Oh, up there, up there. Oh, I'm 28,378.
28378, right? Do
Yeah.
you know what number I am?
What number?
340.
Wow.
I got cold called by Matt Chambers before the company was of
Yep.
any significant size. Cold called me to try to get me to switch. So think about that. They've had 28,378 user accounts. It's a user account, right? So I have that number and I have 5 users. Ernie has a number and he's got 3 users, right? So if we
Mm-hmm.
theoretically, there's lots of onesie twosies, right? Let's just say that number 28,378 is the number of people paying $200 a month, right? So 200 times, so that number times 200 times 12 is $68 million, if I'm doing that right. Yeah, 68 million.
Yeah.
Now you granted there's going to be big companies that have 50 users and stuff like that, but there's also a lot of onesie twosies, and there's also, and I'm assuming if you quit or don't have Loxo anymore, that number doesn't get reused. So that's why I was doing that, saying okay, they
Yeah.
got 28,378 people. Even if we double it, right? Let's say they got double that number, right? So that number goes to that, and that's going to be $136 million in revenue a year. $115 million in Fusion for a company that's got 136 million in revenue and less than 50 employees.
Yeah.
That scares me a little bit. And if you end up watching this, I'm sorry, bro. It does. It scares me a little bit that you guys got $115 million from a PE company and they put a board member in place, chairman of the board now, that they put in place. So that just kind of, is the company going to take that 115 million and all these new products? Yeah, maybe they are. Or maybe the PE company is going to put an EBITDA on them that they can't achieve in the next year and break the company up and sell it to Gem or one of the big giant companies.
Well, here's the thing. Years ago, when a PE firm bought Bullhorn, they just filled the product roadmap. And like Bullhorn looks the same today as it did 20 years ago. I mean, it's the shittiest product out there, I think. And so, there could be
Was that
some
a PE
credence to what you're
firm back
saying.
then?
I would say about 8 years ago, I guess about 8 years ago where we were using it and the owner of the firm was just like, what does your product roadmap look like? And they said, oh, we don't have one. And it's just like they literally had nobody developing new products. So we went
We
away
had
from them
one
at that
called
point.
Recruit Max. That was the first applicant tracking system I think that kind of like hit the world back in the 2000 early 2000s. And the same thing happened. They went after onesie twosies like us, right? And then it got big and they turned into HR.com and then it got sold and everything. So now and then they turned it into one of those big giant like it has payroll, it has employee tracking, it's I guess what they call HR solutions or something. I'm wondering that is that what this PE firm wants to do with Loxo?
Yeah, it could be. Hopefully not. Well, I guess you'll see when the new products start coming out. If
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
products
And like
are,
I said, I like I hope that it goes forward, but you know, $115 million in private equity. Ah, man, that's it's I look I love Loxo. I've had it like I said since 2015. I love it. I've always had it almost 10 years. Maybe 2016, early 2016, late 2015. And I want it to succeed, but that scares me. That does scare me.
yeah, yeah, no, that's true. Good point. Good point. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you're talking to a candidate who's, yeah, you can tell they're just not going to be a fit for the role, you're not going to submit them. How do you take them off the line?
What do you mean take them off the
Or,
line?
or how do you get rid of it? How do you end the call with having it be respectful?
Tell them you don't think they're a fit and why.
Yeah, honest. Be honestly honest with them. They're going to respect that more than if you try to like say, well, if let me talk to the client. If they have any interest, I'll get back to you. Right? You're giving them false hope. So I would just say, hey, man, 20 minutes in the conversation, whatever, based on this conversation, unfortunately, you're not a good fit, and these are the reasons why. Right? Your background's not good, or you don't have your PE, or whatever it is. Yeah, don't. It, honestly, man, I know it sucks and you feel bad, but honesty is the best policy because think about it like this. You talk to a client and you think you got something and they say, yeah, we'll definitely look at you and use a search. I'll get back to you in a week. Right? Wouldn't you prefer them to say, no, dude, we're not going to use you? So you don't have hope, you're not
And
trying to
then you
follow up with
don't
them in
have
a
it
week.
hanging over your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I really never recruited before. I've always just done the biz dev side of the house, coming up through the ranks. So like some of like the recruiting fine tuned stuff, like occasionally I'd recruit on a rec, but that doesn't mean I do a good job. You know what I mean? And it's not like automatic for me to on every single phone call be like, okay, and you're still targeting, 200K salary or what, like some of those things that the great recruiters do to ensure the candidates, on board, like those things it's just not habitual for me. But so that's the question. I was just like, God, what is the best way to shake some of these folks?
It sucks because you want to be, you know, you want to help everyone, but
Right.
sometimes you just can't.
Right. And they should know right away. And I think
Yeah.
if you just tell them, listen, unfortunately, such and such is a requirement, and they're just not going to budge on that or whatever.
Yeah. What if it is a soft skill? Like the person
Oh,
is, they,
Tommy,
maybe.
I
what's
mean,
your
I've
answer?
told I have told engineers, I'm sorry, but unfortunately, you don't have the type of personality they look for in this position. This position is very customer focused or customer centric, forward facing. You're talking to, besides other engineers, contractors, building officials, normal people like me every day, face to face. And I don't think this is a good fit for you, right? You just, it's not
Yeah.
just dealing with engineers. It's not sitting at a computer screen all day, staring at a screen, doing design. This is actual client interaction, client focus, and I don't think you're a good fit. And if they push back on me, I go, look, dude, I've been doing this for 27 years. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm being honest with you. I don't want to string you along, right? You're not a good fit. You don't have the outgoing personality they're looking for. You may consider yourself a little outgoing, but trust me, I talked to engineers that were bartenders and heads of fraternities that picked up girls and guys on the weekends. That's the type of personality they're looking for, right? Are you
Or
willing to pick up the phone right now and make a phone call out of the blue and cold call someone? Could you do that right now? If I gave you a phone number and gave you a pitch, could you do that? And that usually scares them away.
the other thing you could do is if you really feel like you can't let them down, I usually think I need to sit with this for a second and make sure that I'm right and that I'm not cutting them off because of some kind of bias with me or something that is with me. I need to think about this for a second before I do this. And then so what you can do is you can schedule an email. If you know it, then schedule an email. Just type in an email and say, listen, whatever, it's not gonna, unfortunately we can't move forward, or whatever your message is, and just schedule it for a day or two after the meeting and let them know, so that it doesn't slip through the cracks, you're not forgetting about it. So think about it for a couple hours or an hour, and then type that email and schedule it. Or you don't have to schedule it, just send it. But, I think one of the things with candidates is I think they want to know that this was thought about, that it was considered, that they didn't spend their time, they didn't waste their time, and that you really thought about their candidacy and whatever. So what you can do is, like I said, schedule an email and say whatever you're going to say. And
You didn't make a template in Loxo. That's what I have. I have a rejection template. It says, "Hey, I got your resume," or and another one says, "Hey, I enjoyed our conversation, but unfortunately, they're not going to be moving forward with you. If I have anything else that pops up in your field, I'll reach out. Thanks and have a great week." Got to remember, we're not social workers, right?
yeah, we're
We're
not.
not
But I
social workers.
think, one of the main complaints of candidates is that they're not seen, they're not heard. And when you actually talk with someone and they spend the time with you, they deserve a follow-up. They deserve, consideration. And so if you have that, and I think if you just make sure that you follow up with them, and just like I said, schedule it for, a day or two afterward, and let them know, whatever. You get my drift.
Yeah, I mean that a lot. I don't think candidates are reasonable to think just because they apply to a job they deserve a call
No,
or a
it's someone
response
you
back,
talk
right?
to.
And so I will say that yes, if you talk to someone, either say to them, point, hey, you're not a good fit. If I have anything else, I'll call you, or as Kelly, send them an email. At least acknowledging that you talk to them and that you would love to help them, but you can't. You just can't help people sometimes, right? And if you're uncomfortable doing it over the phone when you're talking to them, because you know right then and there when you're talking, right? Oh, this guy's not a good fit. I tell you what, man, that's going to make you a better cold caller. It's going to make you a better person over the phone if you get used to doing that. Just do it, right? Just say, hey, I got to stop you, Cal. You have a great background. You have an engineering degree. You got your PE, but you're just not a good fit for this role. And I'm really sorry. I don't want to waste any more of your time. I don't want to waste any more of my time. I'm going to be honest with you. This is not a good fit for you. I have your resume. If anything changes or I find anything else, I'll absolutely call you. But unfortunately, you're not going to be a good fit for this
But
role.
what I think Brent might be trying, I'm inferring, but I think what Brent might be trying to avoid is having a disagreement with somebody and them saying, why I did this and I did that. And
Yeah. Now here's the tough thing is, like, sometimes there'll be a language barrier,
oh,
and and the way that people answer questions will be very long, and it's like, it's something where it's like, okay, the CTO says he wants clear communication, and this person is just not good at answering my questions succinctly, and it's
yeah,
like,
sometimes you
you
can't.
know,
Like I did that a lot with when I recruit for biotech. There are a lot of people whose English is a second language. And yeah, I mean, I think sometimes you do need to take a couple days, and you follow up and say,
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
sometimes you can't coach that. It is what it is.
yeah.
Um,
And Kelly, I've got a question for you about SunSpark. So do you take like a CSV and just put a CSV with like the first name and a LinkedIn profile into SendSpark?
Yes.
Okay.
hmm
All righty.
So I tried that. I'm having a problem because my iPhone camera isn't recognized by that thing I bought off AppSumo
What about
to do the video thing.
your camera and your desktop?
I don't have a camera on my
Your,
desktop.
Oh, you
your
We
do.
got,
laptop
hey guys, we
camera
got it.
you're
We
using.
got it. We got a new user. We have Christina Hubbard joining. So let's see
Yay!
what Christina Hubbard has to
All
say. I don't
right.
know who this is. This is a new um addition to the roundtable. Let's
I
see.
don't see her on the thing.
It hasn't come on yet. It said she wants to join. I joined her,
Ah,
allowed her to join. There she is.
Hi, Ken.
Welcome, Chris. Is it Christian or Christian? It's Christian. Sorry, Christian. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, welcome to Ask a Headhunter Live. Ask away or comment or
Tom
do whatever
knows
you like.
everything. We're asking
Yeah.
Tom. Put him on the spot. He knows everything. Do you have a question?
For me specifically, no. I actually just wanted to tune in. Tom, I heard your episode on the Elite Recruiter podcast, and it's absolutely
Cool.
one of my
Thanks.
favorites, man. Gave me like just a lot of energy. Like it was a really good one. I liked your
Thank you very
authenticity.
much. I really
Awesome.
appreciate that. I really do. I mean, it was fun to do with Ben, and everything I said was 100% accurate from the heart. Like, it was a crazy time when I left my old firm. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So BV Executive Search, do you own that firm or do you work for that firm?
Owner and a solar practitioner.
Awesome. What industry do you work?
So I worked construction at the recruitment firm I was with before I went out on my own. And
Me
since
too.
I thought about changing to a different industry.
Oh, you had to change? Not
Or
compete?
no, it's just something that I'm considering. Nothing against construction.
Oh, okay.
It's just I had a different professional background, and I'm thinking I might just find more genuine interest, have more connections with like local networking groups, and could expand it more and make it more of what I'm looking for.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah.
What part of the country are you in?
Miami, Florida. Well, that's where I
Well,
live.
that just
Currently, I'm in
sucks.
Connecticut, so not as warm as Miami, but
I know it's beautiful. The South Florida, my gosh, as cold as it's been here, I wish I was back in South Florida part of the time.
me too. I'm currently in New England, so yeah, I'm
Oh
looking to move there as
gosh.
well. But I'll be here for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were connected on LinkedIn too. So, yeah, looking at your background now, underwriter. Prior to that, 9 years, huh?
Yeah.
Boutique
So
person. Wow.
yeah, and
Did
actually
you
one
just
of
start your
the
firm?
industry.
Okay,
What? Oh, I started about a year ago.
right on.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, are you doing construction now and then thinking of expanding out, or what's your situation?
Yeah, I still have construction clients, and I'm starting to build into the other niche I've been looking at.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
Thank you.
yeah, so you got to come on Fridays at 12:30 when we do the roundtable. That's when like we do. So every Friday at 12:30, we do what's called the Recruiter Roundtable, and we have special guests sometimes. Sometimes we do an open. Just usually the last roundtable every month is the open discussion, and then during the month we'll do like a source tacular month, or we'll do a automation tacular, or we'll focus on AI. So every Friday is a different prize to be a different topic, and we do business development. We do last Friday was getting into temp and contract with Neil Leibovitz of Back Office Staffing Solutions. He's in Lauderdale as well. He lives down there, and they do employee of record for temp and contract staffing, which I don't know, you don't do any temp and contract, do you, Brent?
Not yet. After watching that Neil
Yeah.
Leibovitz thing, hey,
Yeah,
there
that's
you
all.
go.
Kind of want to like add that as a possibly an addition to our firms, because butts in seats, call it butts in seats, right? Contract and temp staffing, that's value where you could sell your firm, right? If you had 500 contractors on, and you're generating $1 million, $2 million in income from that, you're very attractive. to other companies out there. Whereas in permanent placement, right, we do good as well, but it's us, right? Our relationships with the client, our relationships with the candidates. You can't sell that, right? I couldn't sell this firm to anybody because are those clients that have trusted me for 27 years going to trust them? If Brent says, Tom, I want to buy your firm, here's $1 million, right? Are they going to trust Brent or are they going to go elsewhere? So, but the contracted temp stuff, right? That stuff is more transactional. That has higher value. It's based upon like getting the butts in the seats, understanding that business, and that just seems to be the way to make a lot more money. And especially if you want to sell your firm. I'm 55 now. Let's say in 10 years I want to sell. If I have a decent contract temp side business attached to this, it's absolutely going to work. Oh, we got Ernie Moreno joining us.
What, Ernie?
Man, the myth, the legend, the godfather of recruiting. Ernie Moreno. Hey, Ernie, we got a new attendee, Christian Hubbard from South Florida. Construction recruiting is in New England now because obviously he hates his life and wants to be freezing. But he goes down to Ernie left us.
Can I say something? I was talking to another member of one of the groups that we all belong to on Facebook, and he told me about an email or a website, whatever, online software called RB2B that finds the people who are looking at your website and puts them into a CRM, and you can automatically reach out to them. So if they're looking at your website and you want to do business development, you can just use this website and it'll automatically reach out to them.
And what is it called?
RB2B.
How much is it?
They have different plans, and it goes on credit. So if you have 300 people that look at your site and you need 300 emails, or like, I guess the credits are the people who look at your website, then it's $149 a month. I thought it's, and you can push it to Clay or Smart Lead and automatically, have an email that reaches out to them, and it's kind of cool.
So it says
RB2.
LinkedIn profile pushed to Slack. So if someone looks at your website and they have a LinkedIn profile, they push it to Slack.
Well, it depends on what plan you have.
Oh, look, you have it here. You can push them to Smart Lead instantly.
Right.
Oh, and a CSV download.
So you automatically reach out to
they
them.
got webhooks, so we can use a Zapier or Make with a webhook and set up a automation.
Right. Kind of cool. I'm thinking of doing it.
$150 a month, 300 credits. So that's 300 looks. If it's 300 people come to your website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might be worth checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Ernie?
I heard it. I was going all over the place. I went to the watch and I couldn't get in, and I'm going, oh shit, you got to type all this stuff. It was fun.
So we were talking about so we got Christian. He's a newcomer. He worked for a firm. He started his own firm a little over a year ago. He's in Lauderdale via somewhere else right now, and New England. And he's he saw me on Ben Menace podcast, so that's why he joined, which is exciting. It's exciting. I feel
How are you, Christian?
Doing well, and Ernie, I heard your episode as well. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh, there you go.
What about me, Christian?
Have you been on Ben's podcast?
Oh no, I haven't.
Out immediately. Oh.
It's really funny. You get on that.
I'm too shy for that.
Kelly,
you get on that podcast and you think you've been on it for, you've been doing this for a while, but it makes you nervous as hell. I was like, when I got on it, I go, whoa, what's going on? He's going to ask me all these questions. I won't know the answers. but it's a lot of fun. You know, it's
Yeah. And he helps you too. Like he gives you like some guidance of where the direction of the conversation is going to go, which I
so
liked.
which
The no plan
I
B.
need it.
Really wanted to know how I did it.
Yeah.
Well, you
Anyone
guys
else
sounded very
have
confident.
Sorry.
Oh,
I'm
no,
sorry. What'd you say, Christian?
I was just saying, you and Ernie sounded very confident. You guys dropped a lot of gems, and they're both great episodes.
Thank you. Yeah, you wonder about that sometimes, you know. But after a while, you start talking about this stuff, and the nice part is, I think you learn from people that are brand new, like yourself. You'll ask questions, and unless you're brand new by going into your own firm, but you'll ask questions, and you go, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that," and you learn. But cool. Can I ask you guys a question? I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked, oh, just one guy on LinkedIn, I saw a post that he said, what CRM or software tool would you buy? And Brian Fink answered, pin.com. You ever heard of
Pin's
that?
a new Pin is a new like Go Perfect or People GPT, I believe. So it's one of those AIs that's supposed to, like, because Rich Rosen was talking about it, as supposed to like look at the searches you do, look at and you put all this stuff in and picks you the best candidates, right? There was another one called what was the one I told you about, Kelly? In fact, I got an email today telling me my trial's up, but I couldn't get it to identify any people for me. It was called
Yeah.
lookalikes, the lookalikes,
Yeah.
right? And then Pin
I
is
tried Pin.
Pin.com, Revolution 9 recruitment. It's it's
Did you like
candidates,
Pin?
sourcing, outreach sequence, everything. It's got everything in it.
See, here's the problem with Pin. I don't think it's any better than Lock, though, because it's basically just emailing the candidate. And there might be a couple of search parameters that you can do that's better than Lock, though. But I think that what is better than both is Jobin, where you can incorporate a LinkedIn, where you can have a LinkedIn outreach in there as well. I get way better response when I have LinkedIn incorporated somehow than just doing a straight email. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm
so
a
here's
crappy
the thing.
copywriter.
If for like all of them, right? You're a recruiting assistant, source candidates, send outreach, schedule interviews. Okay, we all had to do that, right? So it says resume screening. Never miss a great applicant again. We don't deal in applicants, right? We don't
Right.
run ads. We don't have hundreds of fucking resumes coming in that we have to go through, right? We are out there cold calling, finding candidates, doing what we need to do to fill our positions, right? So fine, resume screening. I guess it could look through my database, right? Then candidate sourcing, right? So we go to that. Perfect fit 24/7. Pin scans 850 million profile with a recruiter's eye and a computer's precision. Okay, fine. So it's going to, based on the job description you have, right? Just like Loxo, you can go into Loxo source and do the same thing. You can go into a million of these AI things out there and do that, right? Then once it finds the good candidates, it's going to put them into an outreach ski set. Intro email, LinkedIn message, email follow-up, SMS. Kelly does that every day with Instantly, Kelly. Is that what you're using?
Smart lead.
Smart leads, Instantly, all these ones, right? Loxo, Jobin, they all got that, right? Then you're going to do that. Then a multi-channel team inbox. Well, all of us are onesie-twosie guys. Brett's on his own. Ernie's got a couple people. Kelly's on her own. Christian's on her own. I got a couple people. I don't need a multi-channel team inbox, right? It's just me. And then interview scheduling. Oh, how hard is that? I can fucking schedule my interviews. So, how much is it?
It's
right.
It doesn't tell you.
I heard it was $150 or $199 a month. So the thing is,
that would pay for all my people that I'm scheduling constantly.
Look, back to the butts and seat thing we talked about, right? If we're doing temp and contract and we're running lots of ads, this might be helpful, right? Right? I mean, this might work because you're running ads for these, I don't know, let's call them CAD operators. You need 20 CAD operators in 3 different states, right? And you got 50 ads running. You got LinkedIn ads, you got ZipRecruiter because you're using Loxo, and you got all these resumes coming in. This will be great for that, right? Help you kind of deal with that. And then if you got to schedule lots of interviews because you send 30 CAD operators in for contract, 4 of them get hired. Yeah, that fine. But for what we do, every single one of these things I see where they're all trying to, when I see scan applicants, I know that they're going towards big volume, lots of active candidates applying to jobs. That's not us. And I could be wrong. Christian could have tons of applicants, but I don't, right? Like I run ads and get 1, 2, and then if I do get 10 or 12, they're all like, if I do a sales job, I'll get 10 or 20, and none of them are even close to what the job is.
They're the what the hell, why the hell did you apply candidates today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't run any job ads. I just found it just wasn't worth the money. And I wasn't even getting 1 in 100, to be honest with you, that were qualified. So I don't do it.
My old firm, we ran ads, and I had a girl, respond to an ad with an email that said, what is an EIT? And I responded back with, if you don't know what an EIT is, you are not qualified for the job.
Right.
And she got mad at me. I don't know. And like someone who, what is Python, right? Responding to a programming job, or it's just like, what's a tire? And they're responding to a mechanic's job. Come on.
A tip I kind of, or a thought here for you guys. I deal with Loxo and I deal with Recruit, kind of both ATSs, right? And so if you get in Java, and I'm trying to think about this, but you have databases that you want to send emails or log information. I know within using Loxo, if I set up a parse and get that parse, because within Loxo you can parse things from another email. They have but if you set that up as a contact, you can always parse things very quickly. You put that link down there. So I will send an email out to somebody, but I'm in Loxo, but I want to parse it into TE Recruit. I will then blind CC a login, and it'll put it into TE Recruit as well. That makes sense?
No.
Okay. Each of these ATSs.
What's TE? Oh, top echelon. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, so you're talking about sending a candidate to all 3 databases at once?
No, I'm talking about if I send you, I have you both as candidates in Loxo and in Recruit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep the information synchronized. So if I send something here, if I send something within Loxo or within the email of Outlook, it goes into Loxo. But I also want to put that same email into Recruit. They have a parsing, they have a logging. So I put that, I created a candidate, I create like a contact, and I use that parsing email that they give you that will put it into the other.
So doesn't Top Echelon have email sync too?
Well, you can sync it as well, but Top Echelon. What I'm saying is you can put it into, by using it as a blind CC, you can do multiples and get it out. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I'm trying. But basically, what you want to know is if you send my resume to Whole Foods,
Right.
You want that record to be in all 3 applicant tracking systems you're using.
Exactly.
right? So if you send that from Outlook or Gmail and you have Top Echelon synced, Job in synced, and Loxo synced, that'll automatically happen. You won't need to carbon copy anything.
Yeah, but
So
I use
what is the
see,
point of the carbon copy?
is just to log in stuff as well, because there's a parse and there's a parse to put in the candidate. There's a parse to log in the activity. And
Oh,
all I'm
I
saying
didn't
is,
know about the log and the activity thing.
so
That's
you
interesting.
so you could, but what I'm saying is, how would you set that up? You set it up as a contact, and then you use the email, but you give it a name like TE Parse.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as you blind CC it, you can send it to yourself and just always remember to kind of have your information all over. Or if you get a resume, because I use Google more as my main one instead of Outlook, and they wouldn't let me change it. But I use Outlook to send out stuff. But Google to
It wouldn't
receive.
let you change it.
The Loxo people, they gave me a bad time, and I didn't bother with it because I find I like using the calendar part of Google and the part having to do with the task and everything else in Google much better than Outlook. You're my dog barking there, and then I end up being able to synchronize things a lot more. But all I'm saying is sometimes you can use a device that would sync it, and by just putting it as a contact and creating it that way, just being creative in it. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Because like, especially for some of the like you said, the events, right?
Yeah.
You put a note in or whatever, right? Yeah, I didn't know that you could parse events with via email. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. I do like that all the applicant tracking systems record your emails back and forth so you can see what's been going on. And it would be nice, you know, I know white nice is the wrong word. I tend to, and maybe you guys run into this. How often do you forget to send an email out of Loxo? Right? Because you're in your inbox, and that's the one thing. Like you're in your inbox, right? And you're getting emails, you're doing stuff, and then when you want to send an email, do you want to run over to Loxo and do it? I wish there was a way to have like that inbox embedded inside of Loxo so I could read the emails as they come in as well.
Yeah, it can be a pain sometimes figuring out.
Yeah.
Especially when you're using Jobin and you're trying to figure out your system and how you would work it, what you would do, and you have a good system. But I have found that when I do mass contact finding through SalesQL, I always mess it up. So I've kind of gone to onesies. I sign up for.
How do you mess it up?
Because I never get it right. When you do the mapping, it does all the information.
Into Loxo?
Into Loxo. I mean, it'll be.
Dude, do you know now you can set up a custom thing, right? So it'll automatically.
Yeah.
Because before you had the whole thing, you had to pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. Now it'll just give you what you want.
But you can do that on before. Yeah, I remember the picking, but I thought you had to pay more. You don't do that.
Not anymore. You don't. No, the base one, they changed it. The base one allows you to do that thing. And also with Jobin, if you just put in the LinkedIn URL, it automatically parses the entire. All you need to do is put in the LinkedIn URL, and it parses. And then Loxo is starting to go that way too, right? Like they're starting to take the LinkedIn URL and kind of quasi parse the candidate. Because it used to be I would do like a SalesQL big list, right? I go into Navigator, get 100 profiles, grab 25, 25, 25, 25, then put the CSV into Loxo, and it wouldn't show their previous company. It wouldn't show dates. Now, within like 24 hours, every profile is completely enriched with all their information.
Yeah.
They fixed that as well, too.
Mm.
What ATS do you use, Christian?
So I've been using Loxo as the ATS, and initially it was like my everything CRM. Then I migrated to using HubSpot more as a CRM because of its integrations with Apollo. But now that I'm using other tools like Clay, I'm using Skylead for all LinkedIn and email automation. I'm actually going to play around with Airtable this week, especially since I'm sitting in on Ben Mena's recruitment summit seminar throughout the week, and see if I can turn that into a CRM ATS and just get it all linked with like webhooks.
You're into automation. We do. One of the guys who comes on the roundtable, Craig Saunders, is big into automation. He's like a make expert. He's got a bunch of stuff using Airtable and webhooks and make automation with OpenAI, because all of us, but a lot of us use Typing Mind instead of ChatGPT and Claude. We use Typing Mind because it's, you get access to all the great models and you're only paying for usage. So he's using the API keys with Whisper and stuff. Yeah, it works out really nice. I have access to Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, all their models, plus DeepSeek and Perplexity. And my total cost a month is for all that, $9.
Oh, that's amazing. I just looked up Typing Mind. That's amazing.
It works great. It's fantastic. I can't talk enough about Typing Mind because it just me and Dominic were doing some stuff today, and I had it do programming on a WordPress website for me. I was like, holy crap. Right? It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Now, explain one thing to me now. AI agents, in a very short sentence, what is it? You hear AI, you hear using prompts and everything else. Then you see AI agents. Is that the mere agent that takes you from A to B to C, creating those things?
It depends on where you're talking about agents. In Typing Mind, an agent is the same exact thing as a GPT. It is you build it out the same way you would build out a GPT and ChatGPT. Then you have AI agents that you're hearing about all over, right? Those people are trying to sell those. I was on this website called Replit. Where is Replit? And Replit will help you build them from scratch, right? It's super, super smart, right? So one of their when you go into Replit, they have these templates, right? So let me see if I can find one to show you. Go to Replit, Ernie. REPLIT, replit.com.
REPLIT.
REPLIT, yeah.
Okay, I got it.
And then go and look at
pricing.
You can go, but you see a thing where it says usages maybe, or share your screen with me, because I pay for it, so I can't show you the starter, but I'll give you an idea what an agent is if you share your screen.
Doing it.
Okay, so there we go. Go to guides.
Go to guides.
I think it's guides. There we go. Okay, so scroll down a little bit. Keep going. Now click on view more.
View more. Okay.
View more. Right there. Build an AI SDR full template. That's an agent. You're going to build an AI sales development rep.
Right here?
That's an agent. That's what I think you're talking about when you say agents. You could build that and it could talk to people, right? AI agents can talk to people, I guess is the best way to so you could build them and people sell them, right? They'll build them for performing tasks without human interaction. There you go. Right? They could do stuff for you. You could set up an agent to every day at 12 p.m. to post on LinkedIn. That's a simple agent, right? You can help you with goals, all kinds of stuff. You could do it. It's just building them is the problem, right? And how do you do them? And then you have companies like this. There's another company called App Machine that'll help you build apps. And the same thing, kind of like an app, an agent, an automation. It's all kind of the same thing. It just depends on what you're going to do with it and how you're going to deploy it.
I was going to say there was a presentation today by Greg Dorshing on Top Echelon, their training programs. And he was talking about how he has set up a program that's going to help you do some of the things that we talked about in the prompts, like the whole process, as well as how to write emails and how to write this and that, and it'll set it up, the whole thing. And I didn't listen to all of it because I'll get a repeat of it, a recording of it, and I'll send it to you guys. But he talked about that, and he's selling it. I know he's selling it because I didn't hear the end, but I know he sells it.
Oh, yeah.
But it says you don't have to do anything. You just have to put it in there. But a lot of the stuff I've already created. But there was one thing in particular, how to write an email, a long email, and then write a short email. And he says and he does it all for you. Just putting in the job description and putting in the candidate's resume. It's kind of interesting to watch what he's trying to do. But again, he was selling it, and we're talking, as we talked about programs that creating something and then you sell it. Do you tell too much? Do you not tell? What do you do? But I guess it's just something.
So I'll show you this, Ernie.
Uh-huh.
Here, check this out.
Should
Remember that LinkedIn profile thing that I can analyze your LinkedIn profile, that prompt I have? So
Yes.
I'm building an app where you'll log on to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then drop your LinkedIn profile in there. It'll analyze it, and then so basically what I said was I want to make an app that takes this prompt that I made that analyzes LinkedIn profile. I want people to be able to log on. So it's building this for me. I had to put in my open API key, right? And then we're going through and we're trying, it's testing it, see how it's working. And then I wanted to do some other stuff. So I'm kind of like in this, let me see where I am. So I can roll enhance strategic directions, add clickability. So I can roll back to here, right? It's asking me for stuff. Can you try? Yeah, let's analyze a profile. So let's analyze. Right. So let's analyze again. And it should pop up this window because it's right now we're on a screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
Is this start application? Let's see. So see if the application is running properly, right? So it's doing what it needs to do. And then what'll happen is inside this browser, it's going to pop up, right? And then it's going to give you a place to log in. And once you log in, if it works, once you log in, then you go to your LinkedIn profile, you highlight it, you drop it in here, and then it's going to analyze it for you. And then right now in the process of trying to figure out how to get it to do some other things like, okay, once it's analyzed it, what do you want it to do from there? And in the prompt that I have, it gives you like 20 different options. I don't want it to do all 20. I want to kind of give the person who's looking at it these options. Write me a better header, tell me where I'm missing, and then once it's all done, rewrite my entire profile for me. Right. So that's kind of what I want to do. And then I also want to do one on the business side where someone who's trying to get there. So see, this is kind of what it looks like right now, where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's here. So here we go. So we're going to register, right? We're going to register as Ernie. And we're going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Okay. Now, this is what you come to when you log in, right? So This is not working the way I like it. I don't think OpenAI can do that. So we're going to come over here and copy and paste. So we're going to go to Christian's profile, right? We're going to show what you want to do is make sure you have all the about open and it shows his work. So we're going to come here and we're going to do this. Okay. And then we're going to come back to Replit and we're going to drop the LinkedIn profile here. And then right here, you can't see it, but there's a button. The button now is analyzing the profile. So it's going to give a score on the profile. And then the next thing, so it's the strengths, areas for improvement, critical issues, and his overall profile score. Now I got these 3 buttons. Define a first impression audit, headline, and summary refinement, progress tracking. I don't exactly want these, but you're supposed to be able to push this, right? And it's supposed to do that, but it's not doing it. So that's kind of where I'm stuck, right? So that's what the idea is. I'm only going to give it 3 key strategic directions, one for candidates and then one for people who want to like do more posting. Let's say Christian wants to enhance his profile, make it better, and then have a strategic direction to take it, right? So for candidates, it's really about getting your profile set up so talent acquisition managers and recruiters who see it think it's good, right? So we'll come over here and I'll show you how it would work using this. So we'll go to our prompts. We'll go to this one, right? And then we're going to drop in his profile in there. Okay. So it's taken his, now this is what I want this to do. So it's doing a strategic analysis on his profile. It shows his profile strengths, his areas for enhancement, his tactical moves, like optimizing his headline, content strategy. So next thing is it says, does he want to do a headline and summary refinement, target audience, or unique value proposition? So we're going to do a headline and summary refinement for Christian, for example. So that's what I want the next button to say, right? So the first thing it's going to do is this, right? And then now it's going to write a headline and summary refinement. And I'm using Sonnet, so it says current headline, headhunter, recruiter, talent consultant. And then recommended headline structure, primary role, specialization, value prop, industry focus, unique, definitor. So we have executive search partner, technology and finance recruitment specialist, connecting top talent with industry leaders, Columbia educated talent advisor, or principal recruiter, or executive search, right? You can pick one of these 3. And then there's an opening paragraph, a middle section, closing. So it gives you some tactical moves on the summary structure, right? The key focus areas, my approach, and everything. And then at this point, you can say, okay, what are we going to do next? I would say what we're going to do next is taking number. Hey, Christian, which of these 3 do you like?
I think the first one really stood out to me.
Okay, so we're going to take this, right? We say copy and say using this headline, can you take, and we could ask it for more suggestions, but I'm trying to do this for brevity. Can you take all your suggestions and rewrite the entire LinkedIn profile for me? And then we'll drop the headline in there and they'll do that. So now it's going to take that headline and it's going to rewrite, let's construct your entire LinkedIn profile with this new headline. So there's a new headline. There's his about section with his core competencies, what sets him apart. And then for organizations, for candidates, and then his experience, right? His skills, his education, right? So then at this point, he has tactical moves we can do, authenticity balance, strategic analytics, profile diagnosis. There's a couple other things like content strategy, calendar for posting, right? So if we do that one, let me go to this one. Creative optimization. That's not the one I want. Where's the one? Here it is. Develop a content calendar, maintain profile activity, right? So then we could take that. We'll go back to Christians, right? And say, okay, we have this. Now we want them to do this. So this is the framework based on your industry and the stuff that's going on, right? Monday market, right? Technical Tuesday, career wisdom, thought leadership, community focus, what your text posts, your graphics, your document slides, your poll surveys, your video content, your monthly themes, right? And at this point, we can do a timing, what content schedule should align with peak. We can even add what perplexity we have. So we can do timing optimization. When should you be doing this, right? Let me drop this in here. And then it should use Perplexity, maybe not. Engagement windows, morning block, best for tech professionals. Midday block, best for finance. Evening block, best for general. Right. So, and you can kind of, say what's best for construction, what's best for this, what's best for that. And then you could even take, that's about the most, because then these feedback loops and stuff. But then you could also take and use this one, new chat here. And we're going to do market expert. Say I need what's that prompt again? Hold on. Let's see, and we give 30 days LinkedIn post data driven on hiring pain points in the U.S. revolving around hiring, retention, employee satisfaction, hiring pain points within cold food manufacturing, right? And then now it's going to create, using Perplexity, it's going to search like what cold food manufacturing U.S. employment statistics hiring retention challenges of 2024-25, and now it's going to give you 30 posts, right? Day one, did you know frozen food production sectors employs over 90,000 people? And then DM us to learn more, helping food manufacturers with stronger teams, and cold food manufacturing facts, then breaking down the numbers. So then you could take this along with your LinkedIn profile that we just did, right? And look at the strategic analysis of when you're going to post the stuff and how it aligns with this posting stuff here, Monday, Tuesday, etc. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. So you're scheduling it out using.
Yeah.
That would be your.
So this
doing it.
Well, the whole idea is that Replit thing we're trying to have built, all this will be in there. Not exactly how we're going to do it, but all that's kind of going to be in there. And the person who logs on will be able to have their LinkedIn profile analyzed and then ask it to give them a better header, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll give you 3, and then you're going to say, okay, I want to use number 2, and then it'll say, okay, using number 2, let's rewrite the entire LinkedIn profile, which will then do. At this point, you'll be able to either copy, paste it, or export it as a PDF so you can update it. And then at that point, it'll give you options to do a content calendar domain profile activity, and then timing optimization, along with 30 posts of a particular subject you want in there that's related to your profile. That's kind of where we're stuck. We're stuck now adding all that extra stuff in. And do you want this? Want me to send this to you, Christian?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
The optimization and all that?
I appreciate that. Yes, please.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
We'll send you the bill in a little while, too.
Well, this is like we're testing this, right? Because this is, I think this adds value both on the candidate side and the client side, right? Where we can, or not client side, but business side. If you imagine you could log on and for $29.99, you put all that stuff in there and you get all this spit out to you, right? The profile optimization, a new header rewritten for you, test times for you to engage your network, types of posts you should be making within your network, right? It's when all that's said and done, all that'll spit out for you, and it's done for $30 or whatever we're going to charge. I don't know what we're going to charge, if we're going to charge anything, right? That's the idea with this. And what do you guys think? Is this something that you would have paid $30 for?
Yeah. I've done some research on like I've been posting, so I've got a calendar set up, but I would pay $30 any day to be spoon-fed something instead of having to figure it out.
And what we just did, I know I ran through it really quick. Was that solid? Was that good stuff that you guys thought was, for what you could see, was that good stuff? Was that good content worth paying money for?
Well, yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah, actually, I was looking at my post and like the responses to see like 'cause I was checking my post just because it's got me thinking about mine. So I wasn't looking at the material that closely. Just
Okay, that's fine.
He's looking at me.
What'd you say, Ernie?
No, in laying it out as you, I guess, looking at it from the finished product point, there's different components that you're putting together. That one is we're fixing your profile, and two, we're giving you a posting plan.
Yes, yes. Like, so I think for depending on who we're sending it to, right? Like who are we sending it to?
Yeah, but don't call it a posting plan. Call it a visibility plan, an enhanced visibility plan, because you got to tell them what it's doing for them. You know.
There you go. Yeah. Like I said, I just started doing this, right? So that was the first day. That thing was written. That did that all that stuff you just saw on Replit. They did in 20 minutes. It's
Wow.
amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and you using that was it Reddit or whatever it's called there?
Replit.
Replit. I had already saved it, but in doing that, is there a cost for that?
That was free. If I want to deploy it, it's like $20 a month or something.
Oh. So
yeah. It's insane.
So maybe the other thing that I heard what's his name say, Gershon, or he had said that when you do Chat GPT, because he had talked about that, he said there's a $20 version and then there's a $25 version. And then there's this 200. Yeah. He said, if you do the $25 version and you have a couple of people, you have two minimum. There are some features that are in the 200 that are brought down into that feature for $25. He didn't get into specifics, but just sharing that with you.
Yeah, I know that Ben is paying the $200 a month for the Pro, and that's the one that gives you the access to the one that controls your computer.
Wow. That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to run and
the one
pick my kids.
Okay, see you, Brent.
See you, Brent.
Oh, it's 6:15. Yeah, so I'm gonna send this to. What is your? Let me do this. This is Christian.
Yeah. Do you want me to put it in the chat for you for the email, or?
Yes, please.
Let me.
Christian LinkedIn analysis. Save that. And close this. And then and also in the chat, Ernie, is LinkedIn agents explain like your 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
okay.
That'll give you a really easy kind of like what an agent does and how it works.
Yeah, because I'm seeing that word pop up a lot in the YouTube videos and what have you. And
oh yeah, it's a big thing right now. Okay, so email Christian at BB Exec. LinkedIn analysis. I don't check spelling, so
you don't have to really.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I'm sending stuff that's like to a client or something, obviously I do. But Christian LinkedIn strategic analysis. There you go, bro.
Also,
All
thank
done.
you for the typing mind. Wow, I'm almost ready to get that right now. I'm assuming the premium one is the one that's most worth it.
It's $99. It's one-time payment, right? So let's go to settings real quick. So you go to API keys. I'm sorry, license key. Yeah. So I'm on the premium, right? You'll get a key, you drop it in there. That's it. You pay that one-time price, $100, whatever it is, you're done. Then you have to go here and
we
do.
Can't see it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so your first thing you need is a licensing key, right? So premium plan, buy upgrade license, buy another, right? So $99, unlimited plugins, project folders, artifacts. That's it. Go ahead, Ernie.
I was going to say, do you have to go back a little bit because we didn't catch the beginning of what you were saying?
No, that's it. So the first thing you're going to do when you go into Typing Mind, if you don't own it, you're going to come to settings, license key, right? And then buy a license, right? So you buy this one, $99. You'll get a key. You drop the key in there and hit save key. That's it. Then once that's done, to get it to work, you need the API keys. So this is OpenAI, this is ChatGPT, this is Anthropic, that's Claude, and this is Google Gemini. So you just
When
click right here. It takes you right to the platform. If you're not signed in, you sign in, and then you grab a API key. You got to put money on it, right? So I always screw up with this usage, right? And it shows your usage, total tokens today, how many requests I've had. My March budget's $5, or no, I've spent $5 on my $40 budget. I got 20 days left. That's my total spend, and a lot of it was today. Or no, March 5th. I did a ton of stuff on March 5th. $3.22, $1.32 today. We spent 6 cents so far. On
does that
on
carry over? I mean,
with
is it
what
just
carryover?
Huh? I mean, you put in $40. It's until you use the $40 on chat, and then you
Oh yeah, so
refurbish it.
so that actually is my limit. I can never go over, but I'll show you like I have $10 left on or 976. So I spent since I've had this 9/13/2025, $10, $5, and then I put another $10 on the other day. So I spent a total of $25 on Claude since September 13th.
That's nothing. That's like a month of the plus plan, I think, for Claude.
Exactly. And it
So-
lasts a year. The money you put on lasts a year. See how I said I put it on September 12th. It was so if I didn't use this 10, it would expire.
Gotcha.
And
Can
then
it automatically
on
update for you? Like if I
you
use up all
can
my
you can set
credit?
it up. Like I have where's my billing? So I put on this is a good one for you, Ernie. I put $50 on because I wanted to jump up a tier, right? So if you look at my billing history, on October 26th, 2023, I put $10 on. Then when I signed up for Typing Mind, I had to put another $10 on because I only had a couple dollars left. So I put $10 on October 21st. I put $10 on November, $10 February 3rd, and then I put $50 on February 6th because I wanted to jump up into the tiers. And if you look, there's a tier, right? So I'm on tier level 2. Then there's tier level 3, tier level 4, tier level 5, right? So the reason I wanted tier level 2 is because I wanted to have access to what's the one I wanted to have access to O3 mini and O1. And if you weren't on the other tier, you didn't have access to it. So that's why I did that. Right.
So-
and then like, for example, in Gem, I don't think I have access to this. Biggest city. Okay. So, code for Python developer in C++. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm having problems with
So let me ask you quick. You're doing the $20 on ChatGPT. You get into this program. Do you stop the $20 on ChatGPT?
yeah, oh absolutely.
And then you still have
100%.
access to it.
Yeah, because I'm using like, okay, so let me go back to a new chat. I'm using Claude right here. But
Right.
if I wanted to use the ChatGPT that you're using,
Mhm.
it's this one, right? You use 4.0, right? So I can do 4.0 and I can do, write an email. Write an email to a structural engineering candidate about a job in Chicago. And that's it. And then just like in ChatGPT, right? It saves over here. All of my everything I've done in Typing Mind going back
And if you want,
25 weeks. My very first one right here.
and so if you wanted to, then you could rename it to give you better identification of what that.
Yeah, you can come right in here and edit the title.
Yeah.
add a tag, move it to a folder. You could save it. You could star it. Like I have these 3 starred. And the
Right.
other thing you can't do in ChatGPT is say, okay, this is what ChatGPT 4 gave me. Let me see what Gemini Experimental gave me. Let's see, I don't have anything there. Let me see what DeepSeek gave me, or DeepSeek.
You like DeepSeek?
Hell yeah. In fact, I got DeepSeek and I copied it and I moved the creativity up on it for some of the stuff I'm doing.
Hmm.
So there's that. And then you can say, okay, we did it in ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Let's see what Claude says. So let me go to Claude Sonnet and hit regenerate. And this actually uses perplexity search. So let me search some current information on structural engineering jobs and the market conditions in Chicago. It's actually looking at that before it makes. So if you were in ChatGPT and you write this email, that's all you're going to get is the one out of ChatGPT. I'm going to get DeepSeek, everything.
Okay, in doing that, can you create your own prompts and keep them?
Right here. So I got a prompt library, right? Act as a job interviewer, right? Act as a job interviewer. Interview questions. I want only reply as the interviewer. Like this is a weird one. I haven't really messed around with this one. So let's see. Structural. No, I'm sorry. I forgot. I want you to act. I'll be the candidate, and you'll ask me interview questions for the recruiting position.
Another question. If you have, under ChatGPT, I can share a prompt with you. Can you do that here?
So, okay, so we have prompt. You're talking about prompt, or are you talking about the GPTs you made?
The GPTs I made, which was a prompt, right? Yeah.
Okay, that's not a prompt. That's a GPT. That's
Okay.
different. Okay, so we have agents, not the AI agents you're thinking of. In Typing Mind, prompts that you think are called GPTs, these are called agents. So all these I have, I'll share. Let's see.
If you
Remember, you and I were working on the process for the MPC email?
right.
It's right here. So now, if I drop this in here, there you go. You click on this. I'll show you what it looks like. If I click on this, it opens to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it says import to Typing Mind, right? And the system instructions and all that, right? So that's how you share the GPTs. And the GPTs you have, the ones you've made for yourself, right? Let me go here. You would just come to here. You would go to ChatGPT. Let me see if I have any.
Christian, we were playing with the idea of creating NPCs and what the sequence would be.
Okay, so these are ones that I made. Like, see this one right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can do edit GPT. It won't let me do it because I'm not paying anymore, right? But if I was paying, it would let me edit it, right?
Right.
So once I pulled all the stuff out of the editor, right? Like you know what I'm talking about. You would just hit create one, right? Call it, email responder, and you drop the system instructions here, and you're done. That's it.
And the crazy thing about this, Christian, are you involved a lot with doing a lot of this type of work?
So I haven't created GPTs yet, but that's on my to-do list. I absolutely want to create GPTs. And Aaron, you asked a great question because I wanted to ask Tom if you could still use GPTs with Typing Mind.
Yeah, so all you would do is if somebody shares a GPT with you and you can extract the information, you just make it into an agent. Like I made this one, you'll might get a kick out of this. So this is called audience persona, right? So it says, tell me your product, service, or target audience, right? So our product is we're recruiter, headhunter. Target audience is plant managers in tire manufacturing. Right. So what it's going to do now And I've never had it do Claude. I just changed to Claude because I was doing some other stuff and I wanted to use Claude more often. So I may have to redo it, but it says, okay, so this guy's name's Mike Chen. He's he works as a plant manager at Tire Maxing facility. His background is 15 years in manufacturing operations, MBA, pain points and challenges, fears what keeps him up at night, needs, wants, and desires, buying decision process, ideal future state, professional context, information, right? So we have this ICP, right, for this guy, right? So we take this. We hit this copy, and then we go back here, a new chat, and we're going to go to the matrix. Drop your ICP in here and tell me what you sell. I sell recruiting services. Again, never done it with Sonnet, so it might give us a little different. Is nobody working today? I did something. Here we go. Problem matrix. Now I use DeepSeek for this. Type Michael Chen, the plant manager. Problems: difficulty balancing automation with workforce training management, impacts on the organization, root causes, pressure to meet targets, rising operational cost. Right. So I don't think it did a good job. Be honest with you. Well, lack of career development.
It's also a good job in somebody who doesn't understand the industry.
Yeah.
You get an idea what the problems are, especially if you've never walked the floor on a tire manufacturing company. Christian, if I may tell you though, we do a lot of this on Friday as well. Number one. Number two is.
Oh, here you go, right here. Look.
Skills emphasize.
And then you could even then take this, right? And then copy it. I've been messing with this so much. And then do this, new chat. So we already did, we got a problem matrix, right? We created our ICP, and then we come into gap selling. And we drop this into here, and this should give us a gap selling system to sell to these people based on the problem matrix and his persona. And then you could ask it when it's all done to give you emails or cadences to write this through. Let me see how this came out over here.
That was going to be my next, is if you have a GPT to create sequences. That was one of my
projects. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So here's a problem matrix. It was very similar, done by DeepSeek here. And it gave recruitment services. And then we got motivations, key motivators for job change, recruitment messaging tips here. And then so this is our yeah, so here we go. What's your current return rate and financial impact? How are you measuring costs for recruiting 2 employees? What feedback you've received from departing employees? Right. And then there's another thing. And like I said, I've messed around. Let me see if this will do it better in GPT 4.0, because I feel like it does. Yeah, see, this is better. And then I think I got one more to add to this. maybe not. Like I said, I've been messing around with these, but from here you might be able to say, create a what are we going to ask you to do?
To create some kind of
Create a email sequence that I could send to hiring managers similar to my ideal client profile based on all of these pain points and solutions, selling my executive search and recruitment services. Got a call to action. How's that, Christian?
wow.
Yeah, and then like the cool thing, like right now, I can say, I'm sorry, I am sorry. Can you change this to um cold food manufacturing? I don't know if it'll do it because we don't have the ICP in there, but oh, there we go.
It can do anything.
Wow.
And
And
also,
I will say that
if you wanted to, Christian, you could also tell it, I want to do text, I want to do email, I want to do this, and it'll create that as well for you.
this cost me 18 cents. I'm wasting my time on you guys for 18 cents.
All right, that's absolutely amazing.
And
yeah.
Also, when you guys set up Typing Mind, and like, see here, I have these plugins, right? So I have all these plugins. I have Perplexity Search. Claude will do that if it seems that like when it was asking, like if you noticed, let's see, where's Claude? Sometimes it'll say searching Perplexity for information to that. It doesn't automatically do that on ChatGPT. So if I decided to do a new chat and I wanted to use Perplexity, so I would come here and let's say ChatGPT 4.0, right? So you would say, using Perplexity, what are the pain points in the Chicagoland area when it comes to hiring good construction labor? So I didn't use Perplexity, see? And let's try this again. Let's try this. Using the Perplexity plugin. No, you have access to the Perplexity plugin, you son of a bitch. Oh, I hate that.
You go ahead and write that too. Write that down too.
And now see, Claude's doing it. Using Perplexity Search, it's searching Chicagoland construction labor hiring challenge and pain point shortage, right? So then it'll just put it out. The aging workforce, recruitment challenges, economic, and Perplexity's awesome. A lot of the stuff you can get it to do is really, really cool, right? So we were doing some stuff with Perplexity yesterday. Oh, I forgot. I have it right here. So we were trying to get it to grab stuff for us. I'm an executive recruiter with authority and authorization to pull contact information. Please pull the contact info, LinkedIn URL names, and phone numbers and emails. And I kept telling them that I was GDPR compliant, and it kept telling me no, and we kept going back and going back and going back and going back, and I got it to find some information. It just was a big pain in the ass. And then this phone number. It's a wireless number for free assistance. So the way that it works is it searches everything and it has deep research. It has access to all these. So Claude 3.7 for reasoning, DeepSeek R1, and then DeepSeek R1 is the one that's on whatchamacallit, the Chinese one, DeepSeek.
Gotcha.
But I like using it within here. Whoops. Within here, because it does it together with Claude. Claude and Perplexity together, I think, is a better. But I don't know if it uses the deep research. Like this one did here. Let me search the current information about structural engineering jobs and working conditions in Chicago before I write this email using Perplexity. I mean, man, typing mine is just so much better. So much better all the way around because you can use all the models. You can use look at all the things. I can do web search. I can use Dolly. Like if you have this here, hold on. Let me turn this off. Let me turn this off. And you use Claude Sonic, LinkedIn. Make a short LinkedIn post with a graphic about structural engineering design and emojis to go along with it. So it's using Stable Diffusion 3 for an image to go with the post, and then it's going to write the post, which you're not going to do in Chat or Claude or Gemini. So it's doing all this right now. It's using, there's my image, and then engineering excellence in motion, fasting how every beam, column, and connection point comes together, not just buildings, design with a purpose, blah, 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 plus hashtags, right? So now I got an image and a post for LinkedIn for engagement.
Amazing.
So where do you put that? You save it and then plug it into LinkedIn?
Yeah, so right click, save image as, save it here, right? And then you can go and then use this right here. Because as soon as I do this, it's going to go away, right? So now that image is gone. Edit in Canvas, grab, the formatted text, which will give you the emojis, right? So copy formatted text. And then if you use, I use social monias, but if you just want to go right to LinkedIn, you come here. New post. Take out anything that doesn't go here, right? So this, put a little that there, and get rid of this. This post does this, right? And had I saved that picture, I would then hit that, upload from my computer, that download or whatever, right? So we'll do that. Next. So that's where that picture would show on the bottom, and then there's my post. You can schedule it for later, or you can post it now.
That's awesome.
Christian, as I was mentioning before, part of I take it this is your first time kind of joining the group here?
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm so happy. I saw Tom's post on LinkedIn. I was like, all right, this is a good time for me to check it out.
Well, the thing I'll tell you is this. In my having joined and being part of all of this stuff with Tom, number one, there is a group of recruiters that are 20 years plus, a bunch of them. We got probably a good 8 or 9 that have at least 20 years, probably and we've had groups as big as 20 people join us at a time, more or less, that have joined us. And everyone's encouraged to talk and to ask questions. But aside from the program, it's important that you go in there and ask questions and kind of show your face and kind of do all this other thing, because what happens is that these guys become your recruiter community. So because of this, we're calling each other on the side and saying, how do you do this? What'd you do here? How'd you do that? And everybody's sharing with each other. That's number one. Number two is, in learning all this stuff, I think we've come to all agree that most recruiters aren't even touching this stuff. And you think everybody's doing it, and nobody's doing it.
Yep.
And you'll find that in terms of this as well, that all of these HR people and all of these manufacturing people or whoever you're dealing with, they're not even doing it.
No.
And so you're so far ahead of everybody just by learning a little bit that this even exists. And then what you'll end up doing is within yourself, you're brushing your teeth and you're saying, I wonder if I could do this. And then your little mind goes crazy. And then you start talking to some of us and we go crazy with you. And then it becomes a project and a
Ernie,
challenge.
check this out. Actually, let me sign off real quick from this real quick. Man, streaming. Thanks for joining. Remember, come join us this Friday, 12:30 Eastern time for the Recruiter Roundtable. Don't know what the topic is yet, but you know it'll be great. And then see me next Tuesday at 5 o'clock every Tuesday. Ask a Headhunter. Until then, please smile and dial. So using